Welcome to the Friends and Rivals podcast.
What makes people think that these analyzers have...
Let's talk Devils and Islanders, let's talk Penguins and Rangers, but let's not talk about Flyers, cause they're a bunch of fucks, which no one can deny.
Don't try it till you've had it. This is episode 99 of the Friends and Rivals podcast. I am one of your hosts, Tom Harkis. Joining me each week are
Stephen Wojtowicz,
Bill Fougere.
Nick Larita.
all right, buddy.
Isles are killing me tonight, man. I don't know. I'm not in a good mood.
he's a little
Do you want my
down.
trivia book? Do you want my trivia book to throw?
Oh no.
I feel like
That made me feel better last week.
That made me feel a little better.
2 additional Rangers going to the All-Star game? I know this wasn't an agenda item. I just wanted to rub it in your fucking faces.
It's a popularity contest. Who cares? If you
Oh
guys
yeah, we all
did-
care so much.
Do
If
you
you
honestly
don't-
think...
All stars. Oh gee.
Do you honestly think that the NHL took somebody and said, okay, count all of the votes for this guy, count all the votes for that guy?
Yeah, no,
they have
it's
a
2023. They had a guy locked in a room counting votes.
Come on, we could have had Brian at least believe that.
You got to tell me beforehand if you're trying to pull somebody's leg. That's not your witness.
It's a little leg. So I mean, it was a little joke.
Nah.
Whack whack. Well, did Pete like his shirt? Or we need an update.
Oh hell yeah, he liked the shirt. Although when he unfolded it, he thought at first it was a half shirt because it didn't unfold all the way the length.
A half shirt?
So it was a moment of awkwardness when he thought I was giving him a half shirt. But
Wouldn't that
yeah,
shouldn't we only do half shirts for
We should
people?
only do half shirts. Oh my goodness gracious!
I honestly think
think
we should only give the shirts to people who would look good in half shirts.
oh,
That should it be the opposite for our show, for our viewership?
Do we know anybody?
No.
Does anybody? Okay, besides our wives, do we have any listeners that would warrant that shirt?
there was that one bartender that I ran into.
Right. She was from Niagara Falls, right?
Right.
There you go.
All right. I saw this one thing on the Twitter this week that gave me a little bit of a puzzle look on my face. It came from Money Puck on the Twitter, and they from time to time they sent out some tweets with some information on it. It's all good. It's good for banter every now and again. But this is your make your playoff percentages, and right now the New York Rangers are 57 points with 46 games played. And I'm giving you these 2 teams specifically because this is what puzzled me. And we got the Washington Capitals currently sitting in the first wild card spot, 49 games played, 56 points. And they have right now a better percentage at making the playoffs than the New York Rangers. The Rangers are at 60.6%, and the Capitals are at 78% to make the playoffs. Is strength of schedule? I mean, I'm sure.
I don't know if so. From all I know about Money Puck, it uses statistics to come up with these calculations. I don't know if they then use future strength of schedule and factor that in. I do know the Rangers have one of like the top 5 hardest schedules remaining on the year. So that's got to factor. It's got to factor in there.
I guess, but my oh my.
Not to the tune of 17 or 19%, whatever it is.
Right. And oh man, Nick, the Islanders are how many points out of a play? They're 3 points out of a playoff spot, but they give you 17.2% chance at making the playoffs. The Islanders.
It's actually lower today. It's a 16.4 today. But yeah, it's also trending down. Like the team has been for sure going down, and I'm sure that the algorithm they use looks at number of games played and how many recently been doing and things like that. And I mean, we've been going definitely not in the right direction here. But of our teams, we're easily the least likely to make the playoffs based on these predictions at the moment. but I can't disagree with them, to be honest. So
No, but what's odd is that the Florida Panthers, who are tied with you in generally every category there is, have a 50% chance of making the playoffs. So I again, it's puzzling to me.
Not if it's
whole
this
thing.
team that's playing the Rangers tonight. They don't have a 50% chance.
Right. I mean, the Penguins have a 50% chance at making the playoffs.
You know why this is bullshit? You know why this whole list is bullshit?
Please.
9 teams in the Eastern Conference have a better than a 50-50 chance of making the playoffs. There's only 8 spots. I'm fucking sorry. The odds can't be in the favor of 9 teams to go.
See that? And that's why he's the math.
That's math.
Check the
That's
math.
math. That's math.
Checkmate, nerds. Yeah, realistically, 5 teams are going to make it from the Metro and 3 teams will make it from Atlantic. That's most likely what's going to happen. And you're just looking at the numbers and the teams. I mean, look, Detroit, Ottawa, Montreal, Columbus, Philadelphia, they're all out. They're not making the team. They're not making the playoffs. I mean, it's possible somebody could push, but 54 points is the cutoff right now with the Penguins. And then there was those teams I just mentioned, the highest point total is 47. And that's Philadelphia with 48 games played, 46
Fuck
games.
the Flyers.
Fuck
the Flyers.
It's not going to happen. So you just eliminate those teams, 0%. Like you can do all the calculations you want. Those teams aren't going to do shit. That leaves the Islanders, the Sabres, and Florida. And those teams all suck. I think Buffalo makes it. I think I said this last week. Buffalo probably is the team that makes it in if they were to sneak in. And I think I said Washington going down. I don't know. I can't remember now. It was last week.
So, yeah.
Shoot me. But the point is, I don't see.
Knowing you don't listen back to the podcast during the week,
I don't
we
listen to my own
understand that you
shit.
don't remember.
I might say opposite things I normally, I said from one week to the next week because I don't listen to what I said before. Whatever.
Nick's
I'm
like an
pretty
actor.
sure.
Nick's like an actor. I can't watch myself on screen. I just can't.
That's accurate. That's accurate.
They also only star in one movie because they don't get better.
No.
I don't. So I looked at it today after you sent the message. Devils 98.4%.
They're probably
I'm 70% sure they're going to make the playoffs at this point.
But I don't. You can't give anybody 100%.
Well, no, Boston can get 100%. They're going to.
No, but they have 100%. They can't. You can't give them 100% yet.
Unless
something catastrophic could happen.
No.
And
I don't think you calculate. There's no algorithm that factors in plane crashes.
All right. So we had the big discussion about Edmonton, Calgary last week, right? Edmonton Oilers 95% make the playoffs.
Bit high.
And Edmonton is right below them.
Calgary is right. Yeah,
Calgary is right below them. Yeah,
90.5% chance at making the playoffs. And
look at Colorado's chances to win the cup.
Well, we're going to get into that. So of the they do give a percentage of who will win the cup. There is a team in the East and a team in the West that have the highest, obviously, percentile to make it to win the cup. Actually, who are they? Who do you think? Who do you think they got? Or did I tweet that? Did I text that to you already?
I'm going to bet it's the Carolina Hurricanes for the East.
That is.
Am I right, Bob?
That is correct.
And I'm just going to throw a dart at a board here. And
it looks like a dartboard.
I'm going to say the Winnipeg Jets.
It is the Winnipeg. If it was Calgary, Winnipeg in the finals,
nailed it.
Oh my God, that would be the worst thing that could possibly happen to the NHL for revenue.
Yeah, no doubt.
The Canadian dollar isn't worth jack shit, and there's only a handful of Nick's neighbors that are going to watch the fucking Hurricanes. I mean, we'll watch it, of course, but holy shit, that would be depressing.
That would be awful.
There would be no excitement.
Great to see Kyle Connor raise that cup.
Oh, he's a fucking overrated scumbag.
Conn Smythe winner, Connor.
Could you imagine that overrated fucking player winning the Conn Smythe?
Wow.
Unbelievable.
Wow. But imagine him winning it before Connor McDavid. Better Connor.
So there's also a scenario that puts Boston against Edmonton, which I think wouldn't be that terrible of a final.
I've seen it already, like 1989 or some shit.
It was 1989. And then after that, you got the Devils and Calgary.
Calgary?
Wow. Boy, that would really suck.
I would take that.
Well,
That
What
would-
I
about
think that
Toronto?
should
You
be
skipped
it.
over Toronto.
No, Toronto's in the East, Bill. I don't know if you knew that.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Devils-
you put the
Devils
Devils
have a
before
high-
Toronto. That's what I'm saying.
Devils have a higher percentage.
Of
That's
win the
wild
cup?
to
Yeah,
I'm looking at a different-
This one was from a couple of days ago. Like Nick said, I'm sure it's updated.
Yeah.
No,
It's
now
updated.
it's set Toronto 7.7, Devils 4.2.
To
yeah.
win the cup. But
Yeah.
when,
Win the cup.
when I had it 3 days ago, it was the Devils at 9.2%.
And all the
Toronto
Devils
at
do,
7.3.
all the
What the hell
Devils did
happened
since
between
then
them
was
and now?
beat the Penguins.
Right. When you beat the
But they
Penguins,
didn't-
that's it.
wasn't impressive
percentage
enough.
down.
Steve, the Seattle Kraken have a higher percentage right now to win the cup.
I'll tell you
Than-
what, after
than the
playing
Devils.
them, they should. They were a better team. They beat us, so
Pretty incredible that team has turned it around so quickly within a year to be a potential top team in their division. I mean, they're only a point away from Seattle with 2 games in hand. They could just take from Vegas. I mean,
yeah.
they could just waltz right in and take the top spot and potentially even push Dallas and Winnipeg, who are only a few points ahead of them. So
So
I don't know.
there are 2 teams that are not on this list, which means that they have less than a 0.1% chance at making the playoffs. That is the Arizona Coyotes and Chicago. There's 3 teams: Blackhawks and the Ducks. Less than a 0.1% chance of making the playoffs.
And as of today, it was 4 teams.
Who's off of there? San Jose.
So Arizona, Chicago, and
Montreal.
Anaheim, and Columbus.
Yeah, they have.
Oh, I'm
Fuck
sorry.
Zero-
you, Johnny Hockey.
You are right. Columbus is not on mine either. I'm sorry about that.
That's great. Yeah,
You wanted to be
0%.
somewhere you could win. Good job, Dick.
yeah. It was about the winning. That's what he wanted in Columbus.
Could have been way closer to your family and on a winning team. Stupid.
0% for Columbus, Anaheim, Chicago, Arizona. 0.1 for Montreal, 0.2 for San Jose, 0.3 for Vancouver. Those teams
Yeah, just
very limited.
they're as out of it as those teams in the East you mentioned.
Yeah.
Would anybody want Rick Tocchet as their coach? I
The
couldn't
Canucks.
stand listening to him
Canucks.
on TNT.
Absolutely not.
What makes people think that these analyzers have analysts,
Analyzers.
analyzers? Why they? I don't get it. Because they talk a good game on a TV.
I don't know. It's kind of tough. There's some good people that you listen to and different broadcasts, and you're like, that guy's or that girl, that they should get more time. But then you got people on there, and you're like, why the hell is this the name? Like, what are they giving this guy?
I
all
would
this time
rather
for?
have, like, if you're going to go with somebody in TV, I would
Yeah.
rather have like a Mike Rupp or a Kevin Weeks over Rick
Kevin's-
Tocchet.
Kevin's great, man. I'm sure he'd be great in the booth too. I'd love to listen to Kevin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Kevin Weeks would make a good head coach.
I think he would make a good general manager.
Now that's a different story.
Yeah.
I tend to agree with you on that one for sure. It's like Tony Romo. Tony Romo is really good in the booth, really good, way better than he ever was at quarterback. But he wouldn't make.
You
a
don't
good
think
head
he would be
coach.
good on the field?
No,
as a
you
I
need
don't
a
think
certain mentality. You need to be you need to know when to be a complete asshole, and then also when to just.
I mean,
give
really,
people-
Well, he
You
was
know
a
who-
Cowboys.
you know
He
who
was a
make-
Cowboys quarterback, so he was a complete asshole.
you
No,
know who make the
different.
best coaches?
different type of asshole. But
The-
I'm just
the
saying.
fourth liners.
Yeah, they tend to.
Yeah,
they tend
right.
to- yeah.
They know because they're very direct, man. They're gonna.
Yeah.
They know what to do. They know how to yell at you and get. Like you're not gonna get. You don't see too many of those like Gretzky. Gretzky's not
Right.
was not a good
No.
coach.
No, he was
know?
not.
Who's
Well,
a,
in his wait. To be fair,
Yeah.
he coached the Arizona fucking
Yeah.
Coyotes.
sure
The Arizona
did.
fucking Coyotes.
Yes, they weren't even the Coyotes then. They were the
They were
fucking
just I
Coyotes.
think they were.
I
Just,
think that technically is their name now.
I think they were the Phoenix Coyotes then.
Yeah.
Whatever the
You-
fuck they were. in his defense, that's who he coached.
Yeah.
So
it's a certain mentality to be a coach.
So best player coach. Larry
Well,
Robinson?
Ryan Trottier. He was the worst fucking coach in the history of the NHL.
Trust shouldn't have been a
So
coach.
that's actually the opposite. The opposite
Oh
of what the question is.
God.
Good job.
Rod Brindamore.
Rod Brindamore, maybe. Yeah.
You think Rod
Larry Robinson's
Brindamore
a
was
Hall of
better than
Famer.
Larry Robinson
Larry
as
Robinson.
a player?
Was Bowman played, right?
Oof, don't remember.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Before my time.
Ancient
They had
Lemaire?
two skates.
Yeah, Jacques Lemaire played.
Yeah, come
Lemaire?
on.
He was back in the heyday with Montreal.
Probably
Mike
up there.
Sullivan.
Oh yes. Mike
No,
Sullivan.
I don't
Good-
think he
good
was a
job,
very good
Bill.
hockey player. Bill.
Good
But
job,
really
Bill.
on the strength of the coaching, though.
Good job, Bill.
Yeah.
If we're combining them, I don't know.
John Tortorella.
Ugh.
No? Did he even play? He didn't play.
Pierre
Did Torts
McGuire.
play? Probably.
Ugh.
Did McGuire play? Like I don't. He is not like a hockey player. Was he a goalie?
No way he was a hockey player.
No, he didn't play
He was
hockey, right?
not.
I don't know. I think he was
He's
like a statistician guy.
Right, he was the he was the
he was the
manager.
manager. He was the team manager somewhere.
He was the water boy.
He drove the cheerleaders to the game.
Yeah,
Actually, that's not a bad job. Good gig.
Yeah.
Pierre
Well,
Gerard Gallant.
probably.
Gallant was good. He was okay, but I don't think he was great. He wasn't Larry Robinson or he wasn't
Not
these
even a
guys.
great coach. So
He wasn't
Yeah.
Brindamore.
Well,
And-
I
right.
mean, Steve pulled out the trump
Rather
card
bad.
like right at the beginning. I don't know what the hell we're all supposed to do.
wow.
Oh! Shesterkin just missed an empty net.
Good-
Listen,
good for
Florida
him.
pulled the goalie with 7 minutes left in the game.
Down 3.
Devin.
What the fuck is that? What are
I
they
don't-
doing?
Their goalie is so bad.
They're
they
playing
can't do-
better now.
They can't do any worse.
Oh my god, he missed that by less than a foot.
He missed it by less than a foot. Now everybody
Tom
wants
said he's going to be the career leading in goals scored. At the
Hey,
end of his
yeah,
career,
he's-
right?
he said
it all
5,
starts with one, right?
Yeah. No.
Or hopefully one. Yeah, it's an icing. I just saw this and I thought it was funny. I wanted
Okay,
to
great.
hear
Move
Your,
on.
your opinions on it.
Move it on.
And you have. And you've given me your opinions, which was great. All right, let's take a ride on the Metro. Sponsored by rich, creamy, wholesome Nestle Quick. Hello, boys and girls. Do you hate the taste of regular milk and need energy? Try Nestle Quick. One sip and you can feel the energy in your muscles. Nestle Quick, now available in chocolate and strawberry.
They say the real men drink pink. Then I'm a real man for sure. But if you like the brown, I still love you for who you are. Because it's time for acceptance of everyone, all preference. We're all quick on the inside anyway. Nestle Quick, it does the trick.
All right, and we're going to start with the New York Rangers.
Ah,
What a cop out.
sad.
What? What's the matter?
How sad that you're starting.
Listen, we played one game last week. It was
Oh,
against
and you
the
couldn't even
fucking
win it.
Bruins. And listen, if you're going to play one game in 6 days, come out and play your fucking ass off. Play like you haven't played in a couple of days. Your energy levels should be up. This is your measuring stick. This is the fucking Boston Bruins, the best team in the NHL. How do we stand against them? Well, you barely showed up for the game. You only lost 3-1 because they fucking played the Islanders the night before. And it was just one of the worst showings that I've seen of this team, maybe all year. It seemed maybe Boston's just that good, and it just looked like the Rangers didn't even show up. But it looked like the Rangers didn't even fucking show up to this game. And it was very, very, very tough pill to swallow. I got to tell you. It left a bad taste in my mouth all weekend. Thankfully, they're putting a hurting on Florida tonight, 5-2 in a game where, Jesus, the Florida Panthers are just terrible. They are just terrible. this goaltender that they have, because Bobrovsky is hurt and Spencer Knight is down in the AHL playing a game to get back into form. I mean, a hurt coming off an injured Spencer Knight can't be worse than this fucking guy in net. This poor guy was really, really bad, in my opinion. But the Rangers are up 5-2 with about 3 minutes left to go in the third period. And look, you got 2 more games after tonight, against at Toronto on Wednesday night and home against Vegas on Friday night. And then you don't play again until after the All-Star break on February, blah, blah, blah.
5th or 6th.
Yeah, something like that. No, you're right. It's the 6th.
6.
So you got a full week.
Except for the 47 guys you're sending to the All-Star game. I mean, except for them.
It's only 3. And look, you got to play these next 2 games hard, like you play tonight. But the line juggling again that's happening with the Rangers, it's I don't know what to make of all this. It's good that they have the kid line back together. It's great. Gallant went on record I think it was yesterday in his press conference and said that the kids aren't as passive when they're playing with each other like they are when they play with a Kreider, Zibanejad, or a Panarin. They always defer to them. I said that 5 weeks ago, but I don't know. He's just got to make up his mind. I said since the beginning of the year that this Trocheck Panarin thing is not happening. And to his credit, he's trying to get these guys going, to his credit. But it works for a couple of games and then it goes back to old faithful. I don't know. What were we going to say, Steve? Or did I?
I think that's kind of league wide. I think it's more common now to see constant line juggling going on. Maybe they keep 2 guys together, but they're always cycling like a third guy on a line.
Yeah, I mean, a lot that has to do with injury, I'm sure.
Well, no, I think even with the Devils, you might keep Heischer and Bratt together, but then you cycle, maybe Palat's on that line for a couple of shifts. Maybe Sharon Govich is on that line for a couple of shifts. I think it's common.
It's very common. I've been doing the same thing for the last 10, 15 games, just rotating people around. Some guys stick together, but it's even defensive pairs. It just gets, when you're losing, you got to try and find ways to mix up sometimes.
Or you're playing a hot hand and then you're throwing somebody else in there to try and get them going.
Yeah, no, listen, I hear you. And they're trying to get, Panarin going as much as they can. He's been an assist machine. But he's having a hard time scoring goals this year. And he even missed an open net tonight. That was pretty easy.
So does Shesterkin.
Well, yeah, but he's a goaltender. That's different.
Still.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say.
Good.
God damn it. But
Mind juggling.
No, you know what else has creeped into my brain recently?
What?
It's that they're not playing hard on purpose. And they're waiting and they're saving it for the playoffs.
Somebody
because
said
of the
this?
run that they made last year, they got so tired because they couldn't put teams away that they got so tired by the conference final that they had nothing left. And they're saving some energy for the playoffs. That's what I got to keep telling myself. I got to keep telling myself that's what they're doing.
That's
denial.
I lie to myself about a lot of things myself. So.
Nah, listen, that's cute humor. But they got to do something. And look, we're coming up on the trade deadline. We're about almost a month away from the trade deadline.
So, yeah, a month and a week, probably.
We're gonna have about $7 million to play with, which is a lot more than other contending teams. And maybe you just don't go for Kane. Maybe you bolster your third and fourth lines and maybe even get a second line guy to bolster the right side with Panarin. Maybe a younger cheap guy like you did with Kopp and Vetrano. Maybe we can get lightning to strike twice in 2 years, maybe. But look, you got 2 more games, like I mentioned, at Toronto Wednesday, home against Vegas on Friday. There's points out there. Go get them. You need them. Nick, Icelanders.
Well, unlike Tom, I am under no delusions of grandeur. My team is dog shit right now. Not really much pleasant to say We are juggling our lines quite a bit. Lynn Lambert's trying his best to see what he can turn out of this squad of underachieving players. Just not really getting what he needs out of it. This is a pretty packed week again of games. Started with a pretty good start against Capitals. They were up 3-0 early in the second period, and not the typical goal scorers. Sebastian Aho on defense, Matt Martin, fourth liner, Hudson Fasching, his third goal of the year, kind of a good surprise. He's been playing up with Lee and Nelson in a kind of like a bigger, set up a line of bigger guys, I guess, and he's kind of more the grinder for them. But nevertheless, they're up 3-0. You figure, hey, at home, three goals, they should be cruising to a victory here. And fucking unbelievably, they just collapsed. Two goals in the second period brings it back to earth, and they let up a third goal, early in the third period, and then proceed to lose with 30 seconds left in overtime, and just completely killed all momentum this whole second half of the homestand was going to create here, and it just is kind of crept into the rest of the week. They had this game, and then a couple of days later, we played against Bruins. This is a game I thought that we probably would do well against them, and to be honest, they played pretty well against the Bruins for about half the game, and then Bill started to fall off a little bit. It was a 1-0 game early. First, it was scoreless for most of the first. Quick goal by Zach Parise, nice goal. And then not till the second period, there was 2 goals within 4 minutes by the Bruins each, and turned the game from a 1-0 game into a 2-1 game. But it was interesting because watching the game, the sportscasters are just constantly filleting the Bruins, how good they are, and then they were losing for quite a little bit of the game. It was great to see, but then eventually, just like the Rangers succumbed to a better team, Bruins just slowly took over the game in the third period, scored a couple more goals, and just outgrinded the Isles. But honestly, they shouldn't have. They were playing them well. It's just one of those things where there's a more talented team, man. They get those opportunities, they score, and it's hard to keep up if you don't have the ability to get shots in the net. They kicked the shit out of us on the face-offs. Barzal is not a center. I'm gonna go out on the campaign that he's a wing. They gotta move him over. They need to get a center that can actually take face-offs, because they're putting JG Pajot on the power play just to take face-offs. That's he's a good player, but he's playing for the face-offs. He's out there. He's almost 60% guy, and that's not a good thing. You need to get him. JG's got to be on a line, not because he's good at face-offs. He's also, he's good. Yes, he's offensively, he's fine, but that's not his game. He's a third liner. And third line center, yes, you can push him up into the top 6, for a power play, or you can argue top 8 forwards if you're doing one defenseman on each line. However, I would contend that that's not a good look. You need to hit. Barzal's got to be able to win faceoffs. He's not winning faceoffs. He's a winger, man. Get him to the wing, less responsibilities. And next year we have to figure this one out, because obviously they're not going to do it right now. But anyway, outside the Bruins game, they went. Was this away? Let me think here. Yeah, they were away back to back with Buffalo. They drove to Buffalo after the home game loss to Bruins. Lost in overtime, 3-2, 12 seconds in overtime. Literally no overtime. Face off, win, set the puck, score, game over. And then just to round out the whole fucking thing, a couple nights later, we ended up losing 5-2 to the Carolina Hurricanes at home in a game that 2 goals quick, in the first period they let up. It was 2-0 with 4 minutes in the first period. And then they amazingly came back on 2 really, really nice goals from Simon Holmstrom and Brock Nelson, both really great individual efforts. And it looked like they might come back in this game. They're at home. They're getting the crowd back in it. And then late in the second period, Sebastian Aho scores a real nice goal on a nice deflection. And then in the third period, he got a kind of a stole puck out of midair, kind of knocked it out of the air, and got a quick shot on Sorokin, put him to 4-2 lead, 2-goal lead, and basically got the empty netter. That motherfucker got a hat trick in the second and third periods and knocked us out. And that to me is kind of the end of the season, in my opinion. This week has been just 4 losses, 2 points out of a total of 8, and they just keep rolling over and dying. And again, I'll talk about it next week because I don't want to talk about tonight's game. It's pretty shitty. But an extension of this week. And I don't see them doing anything but basically figuring out a way to start selling pieces and firing Lambert. I don't see this happening because I think Lou's going to actually, with the way this is going, the way they're playing, Lou's going to have to make a move. If he doesn't make a move, I don't know what they're going to do. It'd be really shocking to me if he doesn't make a move again at the deadline to sell anybody, and to not make a move like the coach, position. Eventually, they're gonna have to make a change at GM. Like, it's nice to see him like keep doing the pruning and when the team's winning, but when the team's not doing anything and they're just losing, and after last year's debacle of everything that happened, this year is kind of like, hey, we expected the team to bounce back, but you fire a Hall of Fame coach beginning of the year, replace him with the guy you want to put in there, and then he's shitting the bed. This is a lot on the GM, and especially since he hasn't made any moves really to make the team better, especially offensively. So now it's really looking like, Lou, you got to shitter up the pot, and if he doesn't do what he's got to do here, I don't see how he's going to be the GM going to next year. This has just been a culmination of the last few weeks, but man, this week really sucked. So that's all I gotta say about the Isles.
How close is Paul? Wait, how close is Palmieri from coming back?
He came back. Pelican Palmieri came back tonight. They both Palmieri looked pretty good. That wasn't too bad. Pellick looked okay initially, but dude, they had at least I think 5 breakaway chances for Toronto tonight. I mean, it's not even something that's such a bad statistic. I can't even describe to you how bad that is. Okay. And that's the entire team. So they're both back. Walsham's the main guy out for with a head injury. But hey, we also got I didn't mention this, but Ilias Rookin also an all-star voted in. Not the best look to do it now after everything, but this is a vote in. So yippee.
All right, so if Lou was to make a move, I mean, here your UFAs. You got Varlamov, who's a UFA. I could definitely see him going to somebody for sure. He's probably the guy. He's probably the only guy. Maybe Parisi, you're going to get something for him because he showed a little bit of offense this year and he's a good depth guy. But you're not giving up on Scott Mayfield. You're not trading him.
They could, but who knows? I mean, Scott's fine. He's a good defenseman. He's played above his contract for quite some time. He's been one of our better defenders. So I don't see him moving really. It doesn't really make a lot of sense unless they got enough for him, like, a young defenseman to replace him that was contract friendly, then sure, but unlikely, right?
Right. And then you got a couple of forwards that are 2 years to UFA in Josh Bailey, Anthony Beauvillier, and Matt Martin.
Beauvillier could be traded. Martin could be traded. Bailey's not going to get taken. The biggest problem is last year at the end of the before the deadline, there was rumors that Clutterbuck could have been traded, and they could have got probably something good for him. Instead, we've gotten Clutterbuck for periods of time where he's not injured, which is always very little. He's out. Yet he's in for a few shifts. Looking like he's back, and then his hand, something's going on with his hand or wrist or something, and he's out of the game again. And now he's basically just can't stay in the lineup and healthy. And that's not going to help you when your fourth line, that's supposed to be this big physical line, is not healthy. It's like, what are you going to do? Then now you lose that edge you had. The identity line's been dog shit. So I don't know, man. I got to blow up some of those pieces though. There's a big logjam of forwards, and they're not scoring goals. So in my opinion, you got to move a couple of those forwards if you can. But Varley's always been a guy, I think. He's a UFA this year. They should trade him. There's no reason to keep him at this point.
No, especially if you're not going to make the playoffs for sure. And some of those guys that we talked about, there would definitely be teams out there looking for those depth guys for sure.
Yep.
Bill, do you want to talk about the Penguins tonight?
I mean, do I want to?
Oh wait, no, I'm
Jesus
sorry.
Christ, I don't get to fucking go?
Wow, misorder guy. Oh,
holy shit!
Let's go to New Jersey Devils.
I do plan on talking about them. I don't know.
All right. I figured
we'll get to you in a second. For some reason. All right, pal. You just sit tight. We'll get to you.
That was my bad. I'm sorry.
After I talk about the New Jersey Devils. 2 games on the week. The last Thursday against the Kraken to wrap up the 5-game road trip. An overtime loss. They look like a team that was playing the 5th game of a 5-game road trip. They were getting knocked off pucks very easily. They looked tired and slow. It did signal Nate Bastian's return to Seattle. Of course, he was taken in the expansion draft and then waived, so New Jersey could reclaim him. So it was his first game back from injury. He didn't look great, but first game back, him, McLeod, and Wood, give him some time. Hopefully they can find that chemistry that they had before he got injured. I did notice that 3 of the 4 goals scored by the Kraken were on Blackwood's glove side. So I'm wondering if maybe the word is out that that's where to shoot on him, that he's just got a slow glove and you're going to score. Granted, 2 of them were very well-placed shots, but they were still aiming for that glove side. They followed that up on Sunday with an overtime victory over the Penguins of Pittsburgh. Hughes scored early. Crosby tied it up. Hughes's goal extended his 5-game point streak. He's got 4 goals and 5 assists over that period. They looked terrible in the second. Just awful. They only managed 2 shots on net, and it was hypothesized that it could be that first game back after a long road trip. Maybe they were a little sluggish afternoon game as well. They did seem to find it in the third period. They put on a little bit more pressure after Vanacek, kept a minute in the second. He played really well in the third as well. They got it to overtime. An obvious too many men on the ice penalty led to a power play, and Hamilton just blasted home a one-timer to win the game. Vanacek's on a 7-game win streak. Heischer extended his point streak to 6 games, 3 goals and 4 assists over that span. They're 5-1 in overtime this season, which is impressive because they're typically not a great overtime team. They're certainly not a good shootout team. And Hughes's goal was his 30th on the season. It's his first 30-goal season. But the remarkable stat of the week was Mike McLeod against the Penguins was 13 for 13 in the faceoff circle, including going 10 for 10 against Crosby, which I think has got to be the first time he ever went, winless in the faceoff dot against somebody, because he's always been known to be a great faceoff person. 3 games this week: Tuesday against Vegas, Thursday at Nashville, Friday at Dallas, and then they go into the All-Star break. Okay, something made this motherfucker laugh. What do you got there, Big Nose?
Your buddy over in Columbus had a penalty shot in Calgary
and
missed.
Good. Fuck him, that little fucking troll. Bill, Pittsburgh, go.
Oh, okay. Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins, it's hard to understand how I could be going cleanup this week, but boy, all your teams suck.
2 games. We only played 2 games.
We played 1 game, Bill. What do you want?
You can't beat the freaking Bruins? Come on. Now the Penguins, needed points this week, and they got them. So they had Anaheim in last week, obviously, which they prevailed in that one 4-3 in overtime. That was the Trevor Zegras blunder that actually led the Penguins to win a game in overtime for the second time this season. But then when they went to Ottawa later in the week, it was the same overtime story. They lost quickly in overtime to the Senators because they just can't play in overtime at all. But the game in Ottawa had featured Casey DeSmith in net again. He did just an awful job filling in for Tristan Jarry while Jarry was out injured. And in that Ottawa game, he faced a lot of shots, to be sure. Like he faced 40 shots, and I'm not going to pin the Penguins' effort was pretty bad, pretty brutal. But still, DeSmith really did not make enough saves. Obviously, didn't make enough saves. Just isn't handling rebounds well. Is not directing the puck well when the puck is on net, and so they lose that game to Ottawa. And basically they turn around 2 nights later, play Ottawa again on home ice, and Tristan Jarry was back, and the Ottawa Senators had 45 shots on goal, and the Penguins won 4-1. So the Penguins got the same 4 goals in both games. What was the difference? Ottawa was racing around them and getting all sorts of shots, and the difference was the goaltending. So, I mean, Jarry does make that much of a difference. So they won that one, and that led them to a couple days later heading into New Jersey. Definitely would rather play the Devils in their house than in your own house this season. Seems like they're a much tougher team when they're away from their own building. And I could go off on the Penguins for the ridiculous overtime penalty that they took.
Do it.
To lead to the Devils winning in overtime.
Do it.
Yet another overtime loss. Yet another time that they were tied through regulation, didn't come away with a second point. They're losing shit tons of points by not getting practically any of them this season, and that's very frustrating. However, going into Jersey, playing one of the teams that this season is one of the upper echelon teams, and they really dictated the pace of that game. The Devils, I've seen them do it. I've seen them run circles around the Penguins. The Penguins can't keep up with them, so they managed to slow the game down. They managed to make it a grind for them, and matched to 1-1 through regulation. Had chances. Vanacek played a real good game in net. I mean, the Penguins had chances to maybe go ahead in that one, maybe pull out the 2 points, but at any rate, they were solid against them. They had been, I mean, they still are on a losing streak against top 10 teams in the league. That's 7 in a row that they've lost to top 10 teams in the league, but they got Jersey into overtime, and obviously they were going to lose in overtime. But, it was one of those games where, I'll take the point. Jarry played well again. Petrie's back, and they're getting their feet under them defensively. And, one of the things the Penguins have going for them in trying to make the playoffs seems to be the quality of the opponents right now that are chasing them. The Isles, we heard from Nick what they're going through. We just saw what the Panthers did against the Rangers tonight, and tomorrow night the Penguins get those same Panthers, and I hope those Panthers look as lost as they did tonight. So that the Penguins need to keep picking up points and beating the teams that are below them, and trying to come away with some of the points of the teams that are ahead of them. They've got Washington later this week, and then before they go into their long break, they're gonna get what should be a layup. I mean, I'm never that confident, but San Jose does kind of suck, and they're gonna get them on Saturday. And boy, if you're going into a long break, it would just kind of suck to go into a long break after losing to San Jose. So I sure hope they take care of them. And that's what's going on in Pittsburgh.
And now it's time for Trivia with Bill. Yuck.
Now this is the wrong Bill.
All right, let's see if we get this one on the first try, maybe, because we got that.
Okay.
We're going for that tight 45.
Wayne Gretzky.
You should wait for the question.
Icing.
Well, it's question 99. I just figured it was Gretzky.
No, well, that's cute. Though.
That was
that's very good.
Context Tom. Clues.
Yeah, I mean, how is the question the answer not Gretzky for this fucking question?
Just bad. That's just bad editing of a book, right?
I haven't even got to the
shitty fucking book.
Jesus Christ, Bill, where'd you get this book?
How do you know? But how do you know
shit.
that the question isn't about Wayne Gretzky, but the answer's not Wayne Gretzky? You gotta like slow down and let me.
Stupid Bill.
Wait, let's let him answer the question.
I can't even get the question today. Okay.
Ask the
Fine,
question.
what's the question? Ask the question.
Ask the question. It's a
Come on,
question.
will you
jerk.
If you let me
Ask the question.
Answer my question! The question, jerk!
you want me to answer it or ask it?
Jesus.
Okay, I'm going to ask it. When the goal judge sees a puck go into the net,
This is
he
not about Gretzky.
or she triggers what?
Violence.
No.
The Wayne Gretzky button, obviously.
No.
Obviously, it's the Wayne Gretzky button. Good job.
It's to this point, it's the button that he's made people push the most out of anybody.
The goal horn.
The goal horn. No, that's not. That's
no, they don't push a button that plays the goal horn after somebody scores.
Not the goal judge. And that was one of the multiple choice. I mean, sort of it, because one of the multiple choice was a buzzer. So I'm going to kind of give you that, but no, that was still not the right answer.
Pushing my buttons.
So,
yeah, I'm gonna
the guy to resurface the ice. Triggers the guy to resurface the ice.
No, you don't resurface after every goal.
Oh, that would make the game a lot longer sometimes. I'm gonna say he pushes a lever that opens a door that lets the players onto the bench.
No, that'd be pretty cool though if there was a trap door. I like that kind of idea for hockey.
Oh no!
We're onto something.
No, it's a lever. It does open a trap door, but it's underneath the goalie, and the goalie falls
out
and drowns.
And that's how the Panthers wind up with the guy they had tonight.
Right, and he drowns in the inch of water that's below him.
3/4 of an inch.
He pushes a lever that splits the ice, and then there's a bunch of dolphins with lasers on their freaking heads.
God, Dr. Evil. Oh my God.
Are they ill-tempered?
You should have done that though.
Oh shoot!
You should have done the laser.
I should have done that.
Laser.
Is it the goal light? Turn the goal light on.
Turns off the light.
That's it. Steve got sick of it.
Oh,
Steve
got it.
answered the question.
You got there.
A bright red goal light.
Can we have the multiple choice though, just for fun?
A was a bright red light. B, a buzzer. C, a burst of confetti. Or D, a red card.
Jesus, a burst of confetti would be so much better than a goal light. Just shoots out into the. It would especially be great when the road team scored, and then you're a home fan getting shot with confetti.
Then they have to resurface the ice.
Yeah.
And then they
no,
have
it shoots into the crowd.
Oh, okay, in the crowd.
And now it's time for impressions with Nick.
Fucking great. Ladies and gentlemen, the Friends of Rivals podcast. You're ready for the fastest 2 minutes of this Type 45 show. It's a 20-question power play. Rules are simple. The group is 2 minutes against a famous player, coach, front office, or any famous person associated with one of the 4 Friends of Rivals' favorite teams. The group can ask up to 20 questions of rapid fire. Answers will only come in the form of yes or no. The group will have to make a final guess once they've hit 20 questions, or the power play has expired. If the group is successful, they win for the week and avoid shame for unable to win at a children's game. And away we go.
Is this person associated with the New York Rangers?
Yes.
Is this person associated with any of the other 3 teams?
Yes.
This person associated with the New York Islanders?
No.
Is this person associated with the Pittsburgh Penguins?
No.
Person associated with New Jersey Devils?
Yes.
Is this a player?
Yes.
Is this a forward?
Yes.
Is this an American?
No.
Was this player on any of the Devils Stanley Cup teams?
No.
Oh shit. He wasn't Canadian.
Is this player from the 90s?
Yes.
Is
Is
this
Bernie
player?
Nichols?
No.
Is this player also of the 2000s?
Yes.
It's not Scott Gomez.
Is this a center?
No.
It wasn't
Mike
Bobby
Rupp.
Holdick.
Not
Oh,
Bobby Holdick.
no. How about no? He's Canadian. Fuck. You say John McClane, but he's fucking.
I said American. Who said Canadian? Is this player
Nobody.
Canadian?
Yes.
Wow.
It's John McClane.
John
John
McClane?
McClane was on the 95 team, guys.
Yeah, he was. He was Bruce Driver. Was it Brendan Shanahan?
Hey!
Booyah! With 6 seconds left to go on the clock. It's a power play goal.
That was a close one. I didn't think you guys were getting it.
Shit.
Nice
I wanted to
shooting,
say it
Tom.
earlier, but I thought Steve said Canadian.
I
not
said
American.
I said
Sorry.
American.
Sorry,
buddy.
We are now up to 7 for 10, which,
7 for 10.
if my math serves me correctly, is a nice round 70%.
Billy, check his math,
Yeah.
please.
Excellent math.
Thank you.
Well done. Well done, boys.
Mm.
You got there.
Is that like a goal mouth scramble? How would you characterize that goal, Tom?
That was a goal mouth
Goal
scramble.
mouth, you just banged
Yeah,
home
that
the
was a-
rebound.
That was a garbage goal.
Nice. Hey,
Starvin, we got a
you're a
scramble around
mucker,
here?
you're a grinder, you're a loose puck finder.
Okay, let's go to this date in Steve's stomach.
Oh, that feels better.
Brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
Right here, we're saving calories. Round here, we all look so lean. Round here, we enjoy Coke Zero, but sacrifice flavor, no. Round here, Coke Zero's the way to go.
All right, this date is going to bring us to the year of our Lord 2019. Please go to June 12th. June 12th.
June the 12th. Just so you guys can see, this one still has the marker tab, so I flipped to the right page. Didn't even take that out.
I didn't know it's the right page.
Well, it was,
I didn't
no,
get- I
I
just
mean,
gave you the
it's
date.
on December 31st, because I
Oh.
would. Wednesday, June the 12th, 2019, I had a Belvita and a can of Coke Zero for breakfast. Lunch was a grilled chicken Caesar salad from Quick Check and a 20-ounce Coke Zero. I offset that with some chips. There was a 2-mile run before a delicious barbecued cheeseburger and then some fries from the air fryer and a Coke Zero can. Why did you pick Wednesday, June 12th, 2019?
I had a laugh at Billy. Billy's already can't wait to listen.
He's so disgusted. Look at him. He's so disgusted.
No, I don't think I can disgust Billy.
Oh,
He's,
no.
He is definitely my target audience.
You could discuss me with it if you actually send me a video to watch. Like if you could describe something. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna get
I don't.
disgusted, but
Billy's someone I can't disgust. You other two sissies, I can. All right. A Florida man,
yay, Florida!
Back to Florida.
back to Florida, stripped naked,
Of course.
Ooh. Okay.
did what the arresting officer described as a strange
Macarena?
dance
Macarena?
at a McDonald's restaurant.
Sure.
And he was seen trying to have relations with the railing.
Yeah.
This was said by a witness who witnessed the bizarre incident. John Francis Morgan. So you know he's fucking crazy because he goes by 3 names.
3 names.
62 of Collier County, home of Ray Finkel.
Cool.
This is out, Dan.
Intended to go to McDonald's in Naples, where he had been banned over similar previous outbursts.
You get banned from a McDonald's.
The officer warned him not to go there, and Morgan said he would not. But Morgan did not heed that warning, and the following day went to McDonald's on Tamiami Trail. Oh, I know where that is.
Oh, I know. That's the road that connects Tampa and Miami.
Very good. I was dispatched to McDonald's in reference to a white male wearing white shorts. Oh, white shorts. Who are you? Taking their clothes off and doing a strange dance, the officer said. The caller stated that they believed the male to be possibly on drugs.
No.
Really?
Are you kidding me?
What?
The male was doing this near the front door of McDonald's.
So now, wait a minute. He didn't go in?
No, this is outside on the railing. He's rubbing up against the railing. I mean, come on. Did you hear? Follow the story. While I was on my way to McDonald's, it was also stated that the male pulled his pants down, but put them back on, thankfully. Lastly, the caller stated that it looked as though the male was trying to have relations with the railing. He was charged with 1 count of trespassing on property and is in custody. He will appear in court on July 3rd. Morgan has a number of previous arrests, including one last month for
Burger King,
battery.
Wendy's.
Tom's a creep. Tom is a weirdo. Where does he come up with the shit? It's so disgusting.
All right, listen, don't forget next week is our 100th episode, and we have a lot to get to next week.
Huge guest.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be celebrating the Friends and Rivals podcast, so please tune in and download our show on Tuesday, January 31st. Also, while you're on the Twitter, don't forget to follow us at Friends_Rivals. Facebook, YouTube, Friends and Rivals podcast. While you're on the Apple Podcast, leave us a review. We will read them on the air. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss an episode of the Friends and Rivals podcast. Billy, say something, Woody.
I was going to, but Steve was like waving all around. I don't know what the hell I was.
If Tom would have paid attention, I was going to say the marketing department has decided that if any person other than the 4 hosts of this show like our post on Twitter, we will reveal a clue as to who the guest is.
Ooh.
Scavenger hunt.
As a matter of fact, for every like we get from somebody who is not one of the 4 hosts, we will reveal an extra clue.
And
Oh, okay.
Billy,
Very
say
nice.
something witty.
Well, I ain't gonna go to McDonald's and bang no railing, but give me the 3-way with Grimace and Hamburglar, man. I'm in for that.
you can go ahead and sing us out now.
Oh, my friends and rivals. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off. Flyers fuck, flyers fuck, flyers fuck off.
What do you want to see?
No,
John
we're good.
Francis Morgan?
Yeah, we're good.
We're good.
We're good.
Do you want him to look through your soul?
Nope, all good.
Are you sure? You don't want
No, I'm not looking.
John Francis Morgan to peer through your soul? Did you think he was going to look anything different than that?
To
Looks
the
like
viewers,
Rich Ross.
the viewers, this looks exactly like Tom.
Yeah, no, this is.
No way.
Look at those, the ears coming out.
Listen,
It's like if Tom-
listen, I'll give you
he's got
the
those-
ears, but that's
If
about
Tom
it.
stayed out in the sun for 6 days, this is what Tom would look
A
like.
bit crispy.
I don't
I mean-
look like him.
I'd say why didn't he go to a different McDonald's to do this, and then he wouldn't have gotten as in as much trouble. But if your girlfriend is that railing, you got to go to that McDonald's.
You got to go to that McDonald's. Nobody rubs you like that railing.
That's just
Sex with a railing.
I don't. Do you think he was the end of the railing? Like maybe the railing had broken off of the support, and he was in
I
the
don't know.
hole, or do you think he was just rubbing on the railing?
I think
gotta think he's just rubbing.
I think he's a middle of the rail guy. I don't think he's an end guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's an end of the railing guy.
And you think he's a middle rail, not a top, not on top?
No, right in the middle.
He's climbing through.
He's going perpendicular perpendicular.
And you can even think that maybe the spindles are tightly and close to each other, but I don't think so.
No, it's like a 3. I'm sure it's just like a 3 rail.
You know a lot about railing, Steve.
Yes.
You know an incredible amount about these railings.
He did know the street. He did know the place. I mean, between the Miami
he knows the road.
Oh my God. I know the rail. It shows me money.